You're listening to the RM Podcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our... Wait, what? What is this? What is that? Is that an empty chair? This isn't normal. Keith, they've already seen you.
I just wanted you to feel abandoned.
He's not our normal new host, but he is the original with the mostest.
Keith Cheatham.
Hostess.
Our good buddy Sean is not here with us tonight.
Sadly, he's not.
He fell down a manhole.
Yes. Hold on. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've done this. I mean, like, since the days of just audio.
Well,
I don't think we've had.
We said the Native Americans wouldn't resurrect us anymore. So
no.
Sean's not dead.
Sean was never ever. I think part of the Native Americans' plan. He was never ever to be taken by the Native Americans. I don't think.
He just fell down the manhole and he's still there. We just left him. So
he's just
sitting
gone.
in a river of crap.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Well, we should mourn him.
Maybe
right
he'll
now.
crawl through it and come out clean on the other side.
Hey, we all know where that story leads.
Speaking of rivers of crap, though, Sean's kind of been through a lot this week.
He's been through it quite a bit, which is sad. It sucks.
He's not with us tonight, not because he fell down a well hole. Yeah, well,
a blowhole.
Yeah,
down a well's
I
blowhole.
think Brandon's always wanted to go down.
I've always wanted to do it. I don't know why. I want to go down a well's blowhole. It's like, can I really fit down there?
Pinocchio, when you come out, you know.
Like, what is it, Monstro?
Yeah.
I'll go down Monstro's blowhole. Why not?
Well, Pinocchio didn't go down it. He got swallowed. He just came back out it. So, you know.
I think, hold on. I think I've got the music.
Uh-oh.
I can't remember. It's always
Well, I'm going to keep going while you look for that music.
But
Sean,
the problem is I've got to play it.
It's
and I
neither
don't know
gone
if I played
down
the right thing.
a manhole or a well's hole. He couldn't be with us. He was here, and his poor pupper has run off. His wife and children and sister-in-law have not been able to find him yet. So Sean, being the loving, caring person he is, decided that he would go find the dog for his family,
Lando.
for his children.
Lando. You gotta come home, Lando.
Now, if by chance he's able, he might join later, but we don't know. But outside of his dog, which is now he's trying to find, his father, Dennis, just had open heart surgery.
Okay, now I got to turn the sad music off.
Yeah, you got to turn the sad music off.
I got to cut the sad music because this is good news.
We got to give a shout out to Dennis, to Sean's dad.
I mean, it's still part of the crappy week.
Yes,
because of just what's happened to Sean throughout the last several days. But this one actually is a good thing.
Yeah, so we are still praying for a speedy recovery. Dennis has been in the hospital for around a week now. He's had the surgery. He's recovering well.
Did we say the surgery?
I don't know. Well, I said open. I said open heart. I wasn't going to get into too many details.
Yeah, I mean that's deep enough.
Yeah,
I mean that's everybody hears that and it's like you know the severity.
I'll leave that to Sean to how much he wants to divulge. But we do keep Dennis in our prayers. He is healing well.
Absolutely.
So Sean's definitely had a lot going on. But there's also.
There's more good news.
It's
insane. We can keep the good. We wanted to start off with the bad part, and Sean, I'll just look, if Lando doesn't come back, you can have my dog, because just before the show, my dog decided for the first time as a puppy. Yeah, she's down there. You can see her up there.
She's hiding.
On the wide shot.
She's in trouble.
No, I gave her a freaking rawhide bone down there so that she would
shut up.
Yeah, so she'd be still for about 15 minutes.
You beat her first, though.
I did beat her.
A good beating.
It was not. I didn't.
It wasn't like he was abusing.
I wasn't abusing
dog.
the dog, but she, being a puppy as she is, she hopped up on my bed, and I think it was a spite piss to take the line from the other guys, and I know what it is. It's a spite shit.
Yeah,
but she took a spite piss on my sheets, and thankfully I have a mattress cover that covered it enough, and
it didn't soak through to the mattress.
No,
Yeah.
and oh man, if it would have soaked through to the mattress, I probably would have order abuse. I'm just saying it was order. Okay, I didn't go.
It
as
could have
far
been
as
abuse though,
but it could have been. So you, Sean, you can have my dog if you want, but if not, well, we'll be waiting for you to fulfill that chair next week.
Thanks. The
We wanna see
beautiful,
you back.
beautiful chair. Have we shown a shot of that? I hope.
I have.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have.
look at
He
it.
knows.
Sitting and waiting for him.
We're waiting for him to come back. But again, let's
Come
continue
home,
with some
Sean.
good news.
Come home.
The good news, of course.
Yes. Well,
Of our good
there's been a new
friends.
addition to our family of friends.
Yes.
Our good friends, the Burrises, Jacob and Melissa, have welcomed their new bundle of joy into the world.
Baby.
Little Mackenzie Jolene.
Mackenzie Jolene,
Ja-
first name dropped on the Red Moon
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, and
Can you believe
I
it?
can only drop that name because it's unofficial and Jacob is fighting it, but me and Brandon and Melissa are
He's not
going
to be able to. He's not going to be able to. So, wait, did we just get some good news from Sean?
Sean just messaged us. Someone from a couple streets over found the dog and brought him home.
Oh, that is fantastic. Man, look, the good news keeps rolling.
He did say, though, he is already
too far
he's
home,
already
yeah.
at Bernheim, so he wasn't I get it. He's
Yeah.
already basically home.
I mean, he'd
He'd have to drive an hour back. By that
Yes.
point, the show's going to be over.
Yeah, we're probably going to be on to the part of the show.
He does say sorry about tonight. Sean, if you got us,
okay.
it is okay. We understand.
We honestly thought this was going to be far different last week when we first heard about the surgery.
We
that
didn't
your
know
dad
what was
going to
go
have.
on. Yeah.
And we weren't expecting you to be here. We're always glad when all of us can show up every
I mean,
week.
he made every effort. He was here, and then he left.
I know, and it sucks because I mean, at first I walked up and I'm thinking the worst of news.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, and thankfully, I mean,
Sean's
granted,
like, I have
your
to
dog
leave.
running away is
Yeah.
not good news, but it could have been far worse. And so glad that Lando's been found. Your dad is recovering well, and we've got a new addition with our friends.
Yes.
Little Mackenzie Jolene.
Little Mackenzie Jolene Burris.
You can't change it now.
She has
It's
joined
forever on the
world.
internet in live land.
So today, being the day of her birth, is also the day of a friend of ours' birth.
Oh my gosh, 2 birthdays! This
I
is
know, it's
insane.
crazy. There's so much
Gosh.
happening
Look,
today.
and we've got Oscar noms.
I know.
We got to get onto the show.
I do want to give a shout out to our good buddy
We do.
Brian.
We got to.
He feeds us every week.
Every
he shares a
week.
smoke with us every week. So I mean, it would be wrong to not say happy birthday on the show, Brian.
And you know
So,
what?
Happy birthday.
I've got something for him. He didn't even know was happening.
Uh-oh.
I got a little picture
Oh,
of
look
Brian
at
up
that.
here. I mean, this is just fancy. Look at Brian up there grilling.
See, that's a real man. Look at them.
He's enjoying
them
that.
burgers and them. And I know those look really huge. Those are hot dogs. He just buys the best damn brand of hot dogs he can possibly buy.
Absolutely. Oh, there's him with his wife, Kristen. She also cooks the
That's
meals every week.
Beautiful. Is that me in his sunglasses? Look at that.
Maybe that is. I'll tell you right now, they
that.
didn't know I was going to do this. I'm totally taking these pictures off Facebook. They're public.
No, that's not me. That's not even.
Oh,
at their
look at
house.
it. That kind of looks like you, though. Brian kind of looks like you.
No.
Happy
no.
birthday, Brian.
They found the cherry L8. I have to admit, cherry L8 is good.
It is.
Look at that.
He loves it. Maybe we should have got that
I
for
think
his
you're
birthday.
a stalker now. You're just ripping photos off his Facebook to post everywhere.
I stalk
Man.
them every week. I do what I want. I'm a nosy neighbor.
They're good. They're good peeps. They're good peeps.
Great peeps. Thank you all for feeding us every week and giving us a little bit of hospitality. Oh, Brian's.
And if you ask,
he's still grilling on the screen. He's
They-
waiting for spring to start this Saturday.
yeah,
I'm ready.
I am.
I'm ready.
So that's all of what we have going on in our lives
Happy
this week.
birthday! Happy birthday! I couldn't play the Stevie Wonder version because
We
I
would- we
would
would've
probably
gotten-
get
yeah.
taken down. But you know what? They can't tell. Maybe they can tell by my voice what version it is. You know, maybe I sound like Stevie Wonder.
You should hear Alexa sing "Happy Birthday." It is very extra.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I've
we
never-
before we sang "Happy Birthday" to Brian today.
Oh, we had Alexa. Y'all had
Sean
Alexa do
Sean
it?
said, "Oh, well, because we were joking about I forget something. Well, Wyatt wouldn't sing "Happy Birthday" to his dad.
Are you Wyatt?
Yeah.
That's why you weren't in a picture.
That's right.
That's why I didn't put you in a picture. You don't sing "Happy Birthday" to your dad.
But Sean was
Come
like, Alexa
on.
will sing "Happy Birthday." So Kristen made Alexa sing "Happy Birthday," and we all sang with her. But she was doing some extra stuff, and we got kind of lost because like, okay, this is not "Happy Birthday" as we know it. And then it ended with, 3 cheers, and she was all like, and I was like, I'm sorry, Brian.
That's-
I'll sing "Happy Birthday" to you, but I'm not going to be as extra as Alexa.
I'll tell you right now. I think it gets creepier every day. We find out
year.
more
Technology.
about Alexa
gonna
and what
replace
she can
us.
do. Oh yeah, I mean we're going to be a bunch of CPUs and RAM sticks.
Cyber 9. Skynet, it's happening.
Alrighty, guys, we're finally ready to move on to the other
I think so.
big news of the week, and that is Promising Young Women review.
Woman,
That's right.
not women.
A woman. I said
Promising
woman.
young. I thought you said promising young women.
Women. Whoops. No, I said woman.
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 Are you sure it's
I
a
shouldn't-
woman?
Well, if I did,
Don't assume the gender.
I shouldn't have emphasized the man. in
Promising
woman.
young Zer. I want to see that movie now.
That actually would be. That would be when we're all like animatronic.
Yeah.
Then would we have genders? If our brain's a big CPU, could we, compute how many genders there really are? Is that something scientific? Just throwing it out there. You ponder it. You tell us here on the Red Moon Podcast, because guess what,
They've announced the Oscar noms. This is one of them. We've reviewed most of them. We're going to continue and review the rest of them. There's only 3 we haven't done so far, and this is one of the 3. So
I'm not ready for it.
No,
yet.
he's not ready.
I gotta promote everybody. You can see
going
the
through
links
fast.
down there
Going through
at the
fast
bottom
for
of
him.
our screen. Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Picks,
Yeah, click on them.
and Red Moon Productions. Search for us on YouTube down there and subscribe, like our pages. But please click that bell icon for notifications so that you can see when we go live and you can just get all of this wonderful goodness every single week, because we come to entertain. We've got a review coming up here, Promising Young Woman. Said it right that time, which is one of the best picture noms. And that's right. We've got a
But
whole
is it
litany.
one of the best pictures?
We'll answer that after the
find out,
review,
yeah.
and maybe the review will give you a little bit of insight into that. So here is our review, of Promising Young Women. Woman.
Finally, Oscar season is ramping up, and the nominees have been announced. It's been a crazy year in the film industry thanks to COVID, and it has definitely shown during award season. With slim pickings to choose from, the Academy has named what it considers to be the best of the year. While many we have already reviewed here on the RM Podcast, we will continue to review the remaining Best Picture nominees. This week, we tackled the Carey Mulligan-led film, Promising Young Woman, which has been nominated for multiple awards, not just Best Picture. Telling the story of Cassie Thomas, played by Mulligan, who spends her nights in bars pretending to be drunk to lower the guard of despicable men who attempt to bring her home and rape her, taking advantage of her drunken state. Whereupon Cassie reveals her sobriety, showcasing the men for who they really are. Cassie's motives for doing this is due to her best friend Nina having been raped while in med school, with the school's dean not believing her and her rapist fellow classmate Al Monroe getting off scot-clean. While never stated, it is heavily implied that Nina later takes her own life. As revenge, Cassie now spends her nights luring men into attempting to rape her, until she reconnects with Ryan, a former classmate at med school, portrayed by Bo Burnham, who, after a rocky start, she begins a relationship with. Ryan is kept in touch with many of the people from their college days, and through him, Cassie learns that Nina's rapist, Al, has gone on to have a successful career and is now engaged to a model. Cassie soon sets out to get her revenge on Al and everyone who helped him get away with what he did to Nina. Promising Young Woman is a dark and cynical film that tries to shed light on a very real and serious issue. Its attempt at doing so, however, often comes off slightly pretentious and oftentimes unrealistic. The movie makes it a point to tarnish every male character it can, with none having much redeeming quality. While the story is interesting and the tale of revenge well woven, the scenarios Cassie often gets herself into fall into an extreme not justified by narrative style. Scenes of men she often lures home can be intense, and there are definitely plenty of scumbags in the world just like these men. But after faking drunk and allowing these men to take her home, Mulligan's modus operandi is to yell "gotcha" and nothing else. After revealing to them she's sober and knows they were trying to rape her, she leaves, and supposedly their guilt and horror at being caught has changed their ways? Maybe? Outside of these events, Cassie begins her plan of revenge against Nina's rapist, with nearly every character she tracks down involved in the situation having the most bizarre and unrealistic interactions with her. The dialogue of the film is not Oscar level by any means. It is awkward, not a witty, cute, or quirky awkward, just a plain old cringe-inducing, no one talks like this awkward. The best parts of the film, with the best writing revolved around it, is Cassie's relationship with Ryan that also has a twist of its own, meant to drive home the film's narrative, but ultimately shatters what little optimism is left in the film. All of this leads to the quote-unquote shocking end that is less shocking due to the fact that every cynical beat in the film was leading up to this moment. Promising Young Woman covers a bleak and serious subject matter, but its over-the-top cynicism and bleakness doesn't make the film feel like it's taking its subject matter seriously, nor does it do it justice. Instead, it feels like a sad attention grab and condescending grandstand. I give Promising Young Woman 2.5 out of 4 stars.
And
So-
the Oscar for Best
Whoa,
Director goes
what?
to
What?
Brandon Davidson for 26.
Oh my gosh! Thank you all. I can't believe this. This is so amazing. I just want to thank my parents. I just want to thank, God. You can't do it without God. I want to thank my best friend Keith Cheatham over there, who is just, he's been one of the biggest, brightest people in my life.
Yay, Dad!
No, we'll get to Oscars in a sec. I haven't won the big gold man yet. Not yet.
Who got you that big gold man?
Huh? You know what? Funny enough, it does say best director, Brandon Davidson, 26 years.
Yeah.
Good old
Yeah.
26 years, which seems like 26 years ago.
Yeah.
However, it's not even. Is it? No, it's over 10 years now.
Yeah,
it's
it's
been like
been 10
12.
years.
Gosh,
Yeah.
sakes, we're getting old.
Old.
No,
Old.
it was always my dream. Always my dream one day to win Best Director.
Mm.
But after this year's noms,
You're
and after
not so
that
sure
score
anymore, are
of that
ya?
2.5 that we just gave one of the Best Picture winners, well, nominations, and not winner yet, it's looking like slim pickings maybe. 2.5 out of 4 stars?
That might be the lowest I've ever given did I give Moonlight that low? I might have.
You might have.
But
I'd have to go back and check.
it's very rare for any Best Picture nominee to get below 3 from
that's
us.
yeah.
As long as they're generally, I'm not gonna lie. If it's not a good movie, it's not a good movie, whether
Right.
it's nominated for Best Picture or not. And I just felt like this movie had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Same here.
And not even because I know that there'll be those who'll go the political route and be like, "Oh, we know why you don't like it." And even outside of whatever political statement it's trying to make, it has just technical issues. I mean, the dialogue I thought was some of the worst for a movie that's Best Picture nominee.
Yep.
Its dialogue was atrocious. I just was like, "Who wrote this?"
Well, and I'll be honest. I want to go on record and say before we do too much of a deep dive that I am always happy that your reviews probably sum up the best way what we end up discussing after, because I know we end up going into all of the details and we pick apart and sometimes we praise overly.
Yeah.
Movies that we've seen that obviously I'm just glad that your review for once all the time, but especially in this case encapsulates exactly how I felt after watching this film.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do the deep dive. Now we're going to go into, picking it apart even more.
Yeah.
My score was 2 out of 4.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
lower than what I gave it.
Lower
Yeah.
than yours. And I honestly, it was funny because it wasn't until after, the end of the movie. Because I got to be honest with you, I was enjoying this film throughout most of it.
It wasn't. Here's the thing. Like I understood what political point it was trying to
Right.
make from the very beginning. It's not blunt at all. I mean, it's very open about the whole girl revenge and her going after her best friend's rapist, and even that is not in and of itself like necessarily a political movie. I mean, those things happen. I mean, the men depicted at the beginning of this movie.
It's absolutely.
I've seen those type of men. So
no,
it's
absolutely.
definitely
Well,
not
within
fictional.
the first 5-10 minutes of the film.
Yes.
I'll be straight up
It's
honest.
not a fictionalized depiction of those type of people at all. I won't knock that against it. I just felt it was overly bleak, overly extreme in the point it's trying to make. And then it gets to a point where it's just unrealistic. And the whole point of the movie, the director said this was supposed to be a realistic take on female revenge, not like Kill Bill where you have
that's where it went.
Uma Thurman going around hacking and killing everybody. This is how it could really be
Yep.
done. And I'm like, except I can't see this actually happening in real life in the way it happens.
I was going to say, it didn't do itself any favors in setting up, I think, the story the way it did by making it take on that approach. I thought a lot of the scenarios that she was in were either spot on or over exaggerated. And what I mean by that are not any of the scenes that she sets up necessarily with the men that she meets out at these bars.
Most of those scenes I thought were well done.
I thought those were spot on. And like you said, I've met guys like that. And here's the thing. The problem that I have with the movie is that it completely alienates that one side of the audience. It doesn't give any credit to. And now, granted, I know she'll say that was kind of the point of the movie, but the fact that you have a character in the movie who uses the line, "Oh, you don't have to worry, I'm a nice guy," and I can guarantee you, every single guy that I know, whether they were actually really nice or a complete douchebag, has probably said that just because they want to clear the air. And there obviously were guys who said it long before, and they realized that was an easy pass, that cleared enough of the air that it gave them leeway.
I'm a nice guy.
Yes.
And yet there are the scum that'll be, I'm a nice guy.
You don't have to worry about me. And you see that within like the very first scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was good, but the fact that the story continues from there, and then you have the awkward conversations with a lot of the setup from her,
just unrealistic dialogue. Her with her parents,
her with the dean
of the college,
her with one of the prosecutors originally, or the defendants originally in the case against her friend that was raped. It's like all of these different situations just they were off kilter. They, like you said, it wasn't until they were in the scene and then they're actually talking that it felt off.
And the story ideas I didn't think were bad. Like, I thought the idea of the story and what she was trying to accomplish is like, okay, though this is interesting and I could see how this could make a good narrative. But then when you get to her actually setting out to get her revenge on the guy who had raped her friend back in college, and she does interact with every person who was kind of responsible for letting him get away with it.
Yeah.
All those interactions were just so weird and unbelievable. And I'm like, okay, I get what she's doing, and I don't think it's a bad story idea, but I can't get into it because it just seems so unrealistic. It's like these people wouldn't, like, first of all, I would hope she's smarter in how she approaches it than how she does some of it. And secondly, if these people are really this dumb to kind of like, I don't know, go along with it, and then the dialogue situation, just like her parents.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was the thing. I was like sitting here and I'm like, well, I kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're so inept.
Yeah.
And they're just so aloof. And it's like, okay, are they really guilty or are they just that stupid?
They're just, apparently they're all just that stupid.
And that's the problem is
not that ignorance is okay. But
No, ignorance isn't good. But again, it keeps it from being heinous. And that's what I thought she was trying. She was trying to divulge that a lot of what was going on, whether they were aloof and ignorant, that they were heinous. And it's a heinous incident what happened. And of course, to me, there's a twist that happens that's not really a twist. You can see it coming from a mile away. And I don't want to divulge what that is. But it ended up making the movie even worse for me. I was at about a 3-star until this happened. And then it just completely made every single thing in the movie through the lens of, okay, there's no redeeming qualities for anybody in this film. And it upset me.
It's very bleak.
It is. And it kind of made me sad because I'm like, even in Kill Bill, you're rooting for her to succeed. You're on the side of Beatrice.
Yeah.
You want her to succeed, even through her vengeance. And it is raw vengeance. But you build enough of a story and enough of a hatred towards Bill that you want to see it happen.
You've seen enough of what she's gone through. It's like, okay, you feel that her vengeance is kind of justified.
Right.
It doesn't make it right, but you understand where it's coming from. In this, it's like
the vengeance. It's not that the vengeance isn't justified.
Yes,
it's just, again, the people that she's after, or either again they're not. And it's not directly intentional. So it's kind of like, wow,
she kind of takes it out on the wrong people. And then when she gets to the right person, it's just, at that point, everything's so bleak. And then that ends in such a bleak way.
And then the way in which you build up one of the main characters of the film.
That's what really ticked me off.
And then he goes completely against his character that you built up.
The best parts of the movie, I honestly thought, and the best written parts were her and the love interest played by Bo Burnham, whom I don't even care for Bo Burnham. I've never found him that funny, but I did find him charming in this movie. And I was like, okay, this is well done. Like, they have a connection, it's working. And it was a nice contrast of seeing these wicked men who do evil things and her getting revenge on it, but also having that one person that's like, okay, she can maybe find real love because not all people are evil. But then by the end of the movie, you're just left with, no, apparently all people are just evil.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I wouldn't have cared if it was done to the... if that were the overall arching message, had the movie been done in an over-the-top manner.
Yes.
But like you said, the fact that she even kind of, plays it off as if, no, it's supposed to be a realistic cater on how this girl reacts to these situations. And I'm just like, no, I don't buy it. And then now that I don't buy it, and I'm not, there's one scene in particular, Another one where she literally takes a tire iron out of her car and bashes in a guy's truck lights,
his windshield,
in his windshield. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's not a freaking way. And I won't hit a woman, but if you're hitting my car, I'm gonna subdue you. I'm gonna freaking wrap my arms around you and take the tire iron and make sure you ain't coming after my car.
Yeah,
you're not coming after my personal property.
You at least call the police. Yes. You just don't like you're crazy and drive off.
Yeah, I thought that was completely unrealistic and just completely. It's not. It wouldn't happen. And then also for her to be in such a state of mind in that sense, it's honestly you have to kind of say, well, the guy was actually a good guy. He let you get away with it and just drove off and was just pissed. He didn't do nothing to you. Whereas the way it ends, and again, don't want to spoil anything, but the way the movie ends is completely unrealistic based on that fact alone.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to go down that road.
It's a movie that's like, I don't feel like it's a terrible movie. I do think it's
a terrible pick for Best Picture.
Yes, I don't think it deserves a Best Picture nom. It's a movie that I could definitely see some people liking, but it's also one that I understand why people wouldn't like it. And for it to be getting as much critical praise and awards recognition, it's kind of like, okay, why is it getting this much recognition? Is it really that good a movie, or is it because it sends a message that all of these academies and people in Hollywood want to promote? Because let's face it, Hollywood's all about giving awards to films that promote their message, whether they're necessarily warranted or not. And I mean, I know that the people will be like, "Oh no, you just don't like it because of political reasons." Like, it's really not that.
Well, and even if it was, so be it. I mean, I'll be willing to admit that in terms of I'll be willing to admit.
I don't agree with everything in Judas and the Black Messiah, but I thought
it was a way better.
Yes,
movie.
I thought it was a damn good movie that deserves its Oscar nom.
And we were actually talking about during the review. There's a couple other Best Picture noms that we think would have been more worthy than this one.
Oh yeah,
that got snubbed.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom
didn't.
This and Trial of the Chicago 7 are both nominated for Best Picture. Don't agree with either one of them. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was a terrific movie, and it could have easily been nominated over either one of those.
Easily over. Trial of Chicago 7, I'm telling you, is completely overrated. I don't even know why.
And I mean,
it's
Ma
not
Rainey's
a snub.
Black Bottom has other
nominations.
What
we're talking about? We need
to. I think we're done.
I think we're done.
But before we get into the Oscar nominees, because we're done talking about Promising Young Woman.
We've given our opinions.
But we do have good news.
What?
We're not going to be alone.
What?
Maybe not physically, but somebody is going to join us.
Is Carey Mulligan coming here to teach us a lesson?
I mean, I'd let her teach me a lesson.
Oh, we're sexist.
I don't think she deserves Best Actress nominee, not because she's not a good actress. I think Carey Mulligan is a terrific actress.
You can tell we didn't take the movie seriously. Oh, no.
I do think Carey Mulligan's a really good actress. I just didn't think she was good in this movie.
I didn't think it was one of her best films.
No.
I agree. I don't think, again. Well, all right, we'll get into it.
Why don't we give our good buddy Sean a call?
I think he did say he was available, didn't he?
He found his dog. He's sitting at home. He couldn't make the drive back because he really wouldn't have made it in time.
Well, I'm going to run the headlines open.
Yeah.
And then we're going to ring
him. You do that.
So let's run that open, and let's get started. That's right, it's headline time.
Headlines. We have a few, but there's one particularly big one that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, and that's the fact
only
that
one we're
James
talk
Cameron's
about.
back on top.
You just had to. You had to. The one piece of bad news we had this week, and you just had to bring it up.
I was actually very upset about this. They re-released Avatar in China.
It was only
It was only $7 million away from beating Endgame and becoming top grossing.
You knew
again.
they were going to do
it.
So
yeah, it was a no-brainer. They're like, will it take back the title? Of course it will. $7 million in China is like one day. I mean,
what? Oh, could that be our phone ringing?
Hello.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's our buddy Sean. He's normally here in person.
Hey,
now
buddy.
He is joining us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We are so happy that you could
Can you
join
hear
us.
Keith, or is he too far away? I forgot.
No, I can hear him just fine.
Oh well, fantastic.
Fan-frickin-tastic.
We're gonna try to do this right.
We let everybody know how you fell down a manhole and couldn't be on the show today.
Yeah. It's
Oh
unfortunate.
yeah, the manhole.
Yeah.
Well, but
yeah.
you obviously crawled back out.
Yeah.
And funny
did.
enough, it looked like
You
Lando might have been down there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Nice. You both crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite lines from any
You got it.
movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
just-
a fantastic. It's a fantastic line. But what's funny
uh,
is you actually did probably miss the best part of the show. We reviewed Promising Young
man.
Woman,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Sean.
I heard that was an Oscar-nominated movie, so it must be good.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You missed out
Because when they nominate a movie for the Oscars, it's because it's a quality film and not for any other reason.
That's exactly right, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you could be here in the studio. Your shirt and your star is,
Me too.
but now you are here with us on the phone, which is good too.
Yeah, so you still get to be a part of this.
So you've also.
If only my notes would update.
Oh, they're not updating again.
Really? Mine did this week.
You gotta
so-
love. See, now it's just Tim Cook, man.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him via
Well,
Skype
well,
this week.
Sean, I'll let you know. We're mainly in the headlines are just discussing, of course, the Oscar noms.
Right.
And you actually sent us your list this week of your picks,
Mm-hmm.
and we do not have our
we don't have our official picks yet.
not yet. Now, Sean, I don't know. Are you inking those? Are those a done deal?
They are a done deal. That's
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Even without having seen all of the nominees yet, because I mean, the father might change something. You
True,
don't know.
and Minari.
Well, I'm kind of set in the few films that I have seen, and I just don't. I don't know.
Nothing's
don't
gonna sway
imagine.
you.
Yeah.
I will say what I have written down so far, because we are not prepared to go over all of those tonight. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct. We're all we're doing really is kind of going through the categories, talking about the noms, whether we agree
what
or
we
disagree.
what we
with
feel
them
about
being
the
nominated.
noms. We're going to go over our official picks closer to
We
Oscars.
might throw out some because I'm
Yeah,
with you,
so-
Sean. I think there are definitely some
yeah,
categories
I'll
where
definitely
I'm sold.
throw out what I'm feeling as of right now.
But we'll have our official list probably the week before Oscars,
okay.
and we got to do our tally system. We
Oh,
do
yeah.
it every year.
See who wins,
Yeah.
who loses.
Exactly.
Well, I will. I'll hold off on reading any of mine now until I've seen The Father and Minari. I do think
What about Promising Young Woman? You don't think that'll sway you either way?
I watched the live feed on my way home, and based on what I heard, it sounds like a couple of other films that I've seen before, just worse.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, no, I would agree.
I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm not really going to give that movie any
You don't
any
need
kind of
to.
consideration.
In fact, if
There's
it
no
wins
reason to.
anything, it's
It'll
fact,
be it'll be directly.
Sounds like Knock Knock did it better, and
Actually,
so
yes.
did the one with there's one with Elliot or Ellen or Elliot. Which one is it now?
Elliot
Elliot
Page.
Page.
Yeah.
Well, back then it was Ellen Page.
That's true.
And
I don't think you're
and
dead
it was
naming
called-
if you do that.
It was called Hard Candy,
Oh yes,
and it was
yes.
about a girl getting revenge on a predator.
I actually
And
forgot about
that
that
was
movie.
it was a very well done movie. So
Okay.
seen it before, you know.
Yeah, both
I-
movies
now-
are better than Promising Young Woman,
Well, what's
and neither one of them
sad-
got Oscar
I was going to
noms.
say I would rather hear your take on how Hard Candy kind of compares to Promising Young Woman. I don't know.
Well,
if
I
they-
haven't seen Promising Young Woman,
Right.
so
and that's why
but-
I'm kind of interesting to see like down the road maybe if you do view it if one is truly
Maybe,
you know,
but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you need to.
you can pass.
I mean, if you really want to, but I never plan on watching this movie ever again.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm
yeah.
definitely not. It didn't
I don't know.
entertain me
I just
enough.
based on what you all were saying about the film, it sounded like one of those films that I've seen before, and it didn't sound like a very good revenge kind of film, at least in a tasteful way.
Right.
You know, you all did watch Knock Knock after I praised it, and you both kind of had mixed reviews about that. And Hard Candy is kind of along the same lines. It's definitely thought provoking, and you feel Ellen Page, you feel her pain, and you want the guy to suffer. And
Honestly, I never felt Carey Mulligan's pain in this movie at all.
No,
so.
that's what it sounds like. So it sounds like it has a purpose behind it, or a cause that it's trying to bring.
No.
Well,
thought
the
to,
Academy wouldn't do
but
that.
it doesn't do that.
I will
don't see
say
how it
I
could.
did feel her pain to a degree. I just felt it up until about halfway through the movie, and then they pull the twist that they do, and I'm like, all right, I don't feel it anymore because I feel like that was a knee-jerk reaction to make
Yeah.
the story in favor of the social cause they were pushing.
Yeah.
But all right,
Okay.
well, enough talk about Promising Young
we're
Woman.
gonna go over the nominees.
Let's finally throw up
We're
the
gonna go
noms.
from the very bottom here.
I
if you
guess
pull
so.
If you get on our Facebook page, actually, this is where we're gonna read
This
them
is-
off from.
Yeah, this
We
is gonna be the
posted
best
all the
option.
nominees. So we're going to start from the bottom, right? We don't start with
Started
Best
from the
Picture.
bottom, now we're here.
Yeah. So if
Started from the
if
bottom,
you
now
want
we're
to
here.
follow along with us, you can actually pull up our Facebook page,
Yep.
Red Moon /book, right?
Red Moon Book.
Red Moon Book.
Just Red Moon Book, all one
okay.
word.
Red Moon Book
Red Moon Book.
on Facebook.
Facebook, Red Moon Book.
So
I'm gonna try to pull them up here.
I got them up. You want me to go ahead and start?
Yeah, you go
From the
ahead and
very
start.
bottom, we have nominees for actress in a supporting role,
I'm just trying to get.
and that includes Maria Bakalova for Borat, subsequent movie, film, yada yada, a bunch of crap. No one cares. Glenn
Yep.
Close, Hillbilly Elegy. Olivia Colman, The Father. Amanda Seyfried, Mank, and Yoo Jung Yoon. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't. Don't butcher me like they did Bill Burr.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny 'cause that,
Minari for
but
Minari.
I think they could have butchered. I forget if Priyanka Chopra or if Joe Jonas. Not Joe. Is that Joe? Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
I forget, but I forget which one read off the name, but I think she butchered it or he did when they read it off that morning. But I mean, I'm just that's just
Anyways, so those are best supporting actresses. Out of those so far, I would go with Glenn Close, but I don't think that's who the Academy will pick.
I'm gonna say
I haven't seen any of the others except for
I don't-
Amanda
yeah, I
Seyfried,
would-
and she's not. She was not that good in Mank.
Okay, Maria Baklova definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not Amanda Seyfried. Yeah, Glenn Close would be my pick.
that's my pick.
Yep. I haven't
Yeah.
seen Minari
Yeah.
yet, though. I haven't seen Minari yet. All right, let's move on to. We're just gonna run through the major categories.
Okay.
Like we always do: costume design.
You me keep reading. I thought maybe we would do
No, go
every
ahead.
other. So here we
Yeah,
go.
go ahead.
Emma. Is that did they? Oh, they did it backwards. I'm used to I'm used to them having the name then the movie like they did with the actresses. So, Alexandria Byrne for Emma, Anne Roth for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
On these categories, you could just read
She's
the
doing
movie.
movies. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Emma is, but Emma, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Mulan, and Pinocchio. I didn't even know there was an
Pinocchio,
adaptation of
I
Pinocchio
will say,
even out.
No, there is, and I will say I think that's gonna win it.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll
I
have
think
to
that-
have
that
to look
might-
into that.
That
Have to look into
one
that.
might win.
Honestly, the costume design in Ma Rainey was really good. Mulan just felt generic. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And Mank was fine, but my pick there would be Ma Rainey. But we'll get into that later.
I would agree. I
original-
could see that one too.
Original score: The Five Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul.
I'm definitely not going with Soul.
I'm not really. I haven't seen Minari.
I'm
yet.
not. This
I'm
is
just
the
not
one
really
category
impressed by
I was
any
disappointed
of
by all
these.
of
Yeah.
them. Yep.
I don't
didn't-
agree with the score for any of those, though I haven't seen News of the World or Minari yet. So
Yeah, I was disappointed with all these.
Oh.
Sean, what about you?
I don't have a definite pick for that one, but
okay.
it's James Newton Howard. I mean, I'm gonna go James Newton
Just
Howard.
go with
I
him.
mean, that's safe enough.
top of
News
my head,
News of
yeah.
the World.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I totally understand that. All right.
Moving
I think-
along.
yeah, let's go-
Adapted screenplay.
Yep.
This is a joke too. Borat subsequent movie film. The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, The White Tiger.
Definitely going with
Nomadland.
Nomadland. Yeah.
Until I watched The Father.
Yes.
Father
yes.
could end up being a winner
maybe, but
there.
I have a feeling it's going to be no. But we'll see.
We'll see. I have to check that one out.
So
All right.
that was adapted screenplay.
Now
Now we
original.
have original. Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman,
Definitely not.
Sound of Metal, The Trial of the Chicago 7. Well, 2 of those 5 I think are garbage.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Sound of Metal.
Yeah, I agree with
No.
Sound of Metal. I don't think it. Well, maybe.
Sound of Metal.
I kind of feel like Judas and the Black Messiah will get it, but
If it does, I won't be disappointed.
No.
But my pick right now is Sound of Metal. I'm honestly, I think everything that Sound of Metal is nominated for is going to be my pick.
probably
I
for me.
truly think that is the
That's-
standout movie of the whole year.
That's how I feel for the most part.
and I guess I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But
We are, but we'll see.
We'll get there. What about now, Sean? You
He said Sound of Metal.
Sound of Metal too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would agree. I don't think Promising Young Woman
Or
Trial
Trial.
of the Chicago 7 even deserve to be in that category. Trial of the
I
Chicago
don't
7.
think they deserve to be nominated for anything. Honestly.
No, well, yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to. I don't want to.
I was trying to think
too
of a
soon
category.
because
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll
I don't
get
know.
there. Maybe there's a category I'll be surprised. Like, oh, maybe they did deserve that. But
I will
so
say,
far,
Trial of the Chicago 7 is by far Sorkin's weakest work. And I'm not trying to just compare it to all his others, but it's also just not a strong writing effort in general. It's not very. It's nothing that stood out to me, and I found it lukewarm at best. And truthfully, yeah, I don't think it deserves to be nominated. I really don't. I would have loved to have seen either, Ma Rainey in that category.
Well, no,
especially
not original screenplay.
Oh, was
it
that
got adapted? Yeah.
I'm sorry, that makes sense. It was a play. Duh. Okay.
No, it wasn't adapted either. Ma Rainey didn't get either writing nom. Yeah, I would agree. It should have been
What was
Borat got adapted. Ma Rainey
okay.
deserved to be nominated.
Yeah, we need to
way
back
over
up. We need to talk
Borat.
about that. Why the hell is Borat getting nominated for anything?
Yeah.
What I mean, that shows you right there alone. Like we were talking about with Promising Young Woman. As long as you have a political statement in your film, you are held as a fantastic success, and you're going to be awarded.
Yeah,
And it just does not
funny
deserve
because
it.
the original Borat had a political lean also, but back then we weren't so ate up with politics
Right.
and party lines that it was never even like possibly considered for any kind of an Oscar, let alone any good reviews, other than it just being
A funny
freaking
movie.
hilarious.
It was a funny movie.
But yeah, exactly. But yeah, the fact that we're in a place in our country right now where
in this day and age,
this movie would be in this day and age where a movie like this would be considered as ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to
I agree with what you just said there. Yep.
our next one, which is animated featured
This
film.
is always one of my favorite categories, except for this year. But
Onward.
It's cool. Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree.
one I'm picking.
Onward, Over the Moon.
And I guess we are picking our picks.
Yeah. Well, we always kind of
we do
roughly, and then we do our official.
And here's our
so-
disclaimer: we always do like our what we want versus what we think will win, and that's when we
And
get a
we
little
will,
bit more
yeah.
in the weeds. Yeah.
Um,
I want Onward, but I think Soul.
oh,
will win.
Soul's definitely going
Agreed.
to win, and
Agreed.
I disagree with that. But yeah, I think it'll definitely win.
and
but-
the only other one I think that may have a chance would be Wolfwalkers,
which I haven't
maybe,
seen,
which is
so-
in Apple TV Plus.
I'll watch it.
But it is
I
Onward.
love
Over the
animated
Moon.
films, and Shaun of the Sheep was hilarious. I thought that was better than Soul.
So
Shoot me.
Onward, Over the Moon, Shaun of the Sheep, Soul, and Wolfwalkers are the others.
Shaun of the Sheep.
Over the
whoops,
Moon.
it's
and
Shaun.
Shaun of the
are
Sheep movie.
Not very good.
Which one? Over the Moon was
Said
it?
Over the Moon and Shaun of the Sheep. I've seen
What?
both. Not
Farmageddon
very
was hilarious.
I just don't. I'm not a fan of
It was-
Shaun of the Sheep.
Well, wait a second. Is it? Is that claymation?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Chicken
The
Run?
people that do Wallace and Gromit. make
Okay,
Shaun
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Sheep.
yeah. I don't know why. I just
Yeah,
knew
I,
that.
I like it more than Soul.
No, well, I
That,
haven't
yeah,
seen it.
well, that's true. It is funny.
See, yeah.
Soul's not even that funny.
We're skipping live action short. We'll get to that
Yeah,
on
we
the
don't
week
need
that
that.
we.
Actor in a supporting role.
Yeah, this is another big one.
Sacha Baron Cohen, because at least that one's not for Borat. It's for his role in the trial of the Chicago 7, but I still disagree.
Yep, I agree. I think he should not be nominated.
Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. I do agree with that. Leslie
That's
Odom.
Daniel Kaluuya is your pick.
Yeah, I think so for me too. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. Paul Rossi.
Actually, no. Paul Rossi is mine.
Yeah, he was really good. Sound of Metal.
Yes, and I thought his. Oh, sorry. You can finish up.
Well, the last one, because this one's actually baffled everybody. Lakeith Stanfield, also from Judas and the Black Messiah,
Bizarre.
the lead actor from the movie, but he's nominated for supporting role, and nobody understands why. Him and Daniel Kaluuya both got nominated for supporting, instead of him getting
I'm getting mad at my dog.
best
down
actor
here.
and Daniel Kaluuya being
She's
supporting.
trying to chew up our table.
Well, she already peed on your bed.
I know.
so-
Damn it, this puppy! I'm telling you, she's gonna.
Anyways, barring the confusion behind Lakeith Stanfield getting supporting instead of just best actor, you're saying Paul Rashi was your pick.
That's
Sound of Metal.
that's absolutely my pick. I think he does. He's like, I mean, for one, out of nowhere. I love to see these picks. I love to see the actors or actresses, whether they've been doing it a long time or it's just something they dabbled in. I don't know this guy. I don't know his history. I don't know if he is a long-time actor in the biz. I don't know of anything else he's been in. But he was that type of person that, for me, after you get to that point in the film, the whole movie and the emotional connection you have with the main character rests on his shoulders. And that's the guy who does the sign language at the
He's
Kind of like the guy that sits down and talks to him.
yes.
And invites him in and everything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he just absolutely, from the beginning of his performance to the end of it, encapsulated me. His subtle breakdown when he comes back to the camp to want to be readmitted, and the guy's like, I can't. You left us. And
Yep.
and you see the heartbreak in him. He just sold that performance for me. And
No, it was really well done.
If he
Yeah,
doesn't-
it is.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I
for
think
me.
the next category, hands down, has an obvious winner. And if they not this one, are we going to
no,
do that?
no,
we
we're not
skip
doing documentary.
and we're skipping documentary short, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, not this one either.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
This one right here, because we don't do international, right? I mean,
That's true. Yeah, we're gonna skip those.
nominees for best because they combined sound editing and sound mixing. It's now just best sound, and those nominees are Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and who I think should be the obvious winner,
Well,
Sound
come
of
on,
Metal.
Sound of Metal.
And here's the thing: it's not even that it has to do with it; just does. Like even the like the whistling when he's going
Yes.
deaf. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that was so realistic. Like this
it
movie
nails
deserves that Oscar.
so many parts of this, the sound design, and it absolutely hands down should win.
Agreed.
All right, let's move it on.
Moving
Production
right
design.
along. The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, News of the World, and Tenet.
Tenet, I thought was just random.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad they threw him a bone, but I'm kind of like, why?
it's not his best. Like
I
I
just
don't
don't
consider that as
understand.
like I know some people have been like Tenet got snubbed. It's like no, it didn't.
No, it
It's
didn't.
not his best work.
It's not, and
That's-
I will say in this category, I'm probably gonna go with Ma Rainey.
Yep.
I
Agreed.
think Mank
Yeah.
might edge it out.
But I don't think it was as good as far as production design goes. I don't think it was as good as Ma Rainey.
Well,
And we haven't seen the Father
the father.
yet.
Talk about my father.
Mm.
You gonna-
I've said my
that was
piece.
it?
On
All
it.
right,
Sean, you got
what
anything
about
else?
you?
What?
What about you in best production design? You were
I
picking
said
Ma
Ma
Rainey.
Rainey.
See, the other
Yeah.
thing too that I think is interesting about this is Mank. I think is that it's sad, but this has been a trend I think for over a decade now,
Mhm.
where the most nominated film, which is Mank this year with
Mhm.
like 10 noms,
Yeah.
is not. It never ends up winning anything.
Yeah.
and I
Which
just-
is kind of funny. It's like
yeah, it's like, well, but the nomination's an award enough. That's kind of how they play it. And I think Mank is going to end up either walking away with something like this or nothing at all.
or nothing. And honestly, it kind of deserves to.
All right, moving on to film editing.
The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, Trial of the Chicago 7. Well, there's only two, I haven't seen The Father yet. So
There's
really,
three-
for me, it's
yeah.
between Nomadland and Sound of Metal because,
Yeah.
I mean, the film editing in Promising Young Woman actually wasn't bad, to be fair.
It wasn't.
And
it did keep
Trial of
my
the Chicago
attention.
7 was just bland. Like I'm trying to think of anything significant. Like
No,
I mean, there was.
It was
I guess,
bland. It reminded
just-
me of I think it was either War Horse
Yeah, like
or or
yeah.
in terms of how it was edited, or Big Eyes. Big Eyes, where it was just strung along and it was literally from start to finish, and like they're just
I might.
nothing was disjointed. It was like nah, it was straightforward.
I think probably Sound of Metal still. I was trying to think between it and Nomadland, but just some of the editing, especially when he's going deaf, I'm like, yeah, I think that edge. I mean, they're both very well done.
I could stick with either Sound of Metal or Nomadland.
Mhm.
Either one of these I'd be happy with.
I'm
winning.
going with Sound of Metal for this one because the next category, I truly believe Nomadland deserves. That's the best cinematography.
Cinematography.
Yeah,
Oh,
Judas
man.
and the Black
Yep.
Messiah, Mank, News of the World, Nomadland, Trial of the Chicago 7, and I would go with Nomadland. Yeah.
Same here. And Sean, you said Nomadland.
Yeah, the natural lighting, the landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I just the close up shots. I go with that for cinematography all day.
Absolutely. I mean, again, like Judas and the Black Messiah and Mank didn't have bad cinematography, but I thought Nomadland was better. And again, Trial of the Chicago 7, I just thought was dull. Like I didn't think there was.
I agree. There was nothing interesting about. I mean, there were a couple scenes. I think right after they were not in court, when they were back at their hideout and they were discussing things back and forth, but nothing too interesting. So I really do. I'm leaning towards Nomadland.
This next one interests me.
Let's go ahead. Let's get to it.
Nominees for visual effects. It's an interesting
I know my
year
hand
for
will
this
pick
one.
for
I have
this
a
one.
very clear
Yeah.
pick for this.
Yep, same here.
Love and Monsters, The Midnight Sky, Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet.
I pick Love and Monsters.
Absolutely.
I would
Hands down.
agree. It was
For the movie that it was on the budget that it had.
yes.
There is no doubt in my mind.
The scene
this is the best
that
of
comes
the
to my
year.
mind the most is when he finds the robot and then like the Temptations. What's the Temptations?
I can't remember.
I don't remember. The song starts playing and you have like the jellyfish that are actually like
Yes.
flying through the sky. I was like, that was
Yep.
beautiful. Mulan was just kind of generic. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was generic.
No, it looked like garbage. It looked like garbage.
The one and
I-
only
you
Ivan.
Pay $30 for that, I'd be
Yeah.
I'd be mad.
The one and only Ivan was fine, but again, I didn't think it was amazing.
It didn't do anything Planet of the Apes or Jungle Book or any of
No.
those haven't already done.
Yeah, it wasn't as
So-
good as those other ones, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good. And the Midnight Sky again was okay, but
Again,
Yeah.
a kind of a pass.
again
And-
with Tenet, like
something
it wasn't
you've never
bad.
seen before. And,
Yeah.
and Tenet is great, but I think they're, and again, it's kind of weird that they're combining these from visual. You have your practical versus your special effects.
Mhm.
Digital CGI.
Yeah.
And Tenet, I mean, I want to give it props for its practical.
Mhm.
Especially the way they choreograph the fight scenes
Yeah.
forward and backwards. It's amazing.
Yes.
But I think from just a pure artistic standpoint, I just want to go with Love and Monsters. And I think for the smaller movie it was, give it some love. It deserves it. It
Love
deserves
it.
the
Yeah.
Oscar.
Give it something.
And-
What was that, sir? You broke
Yeah.
up.
No, he said give it some love, and I said and monsters.
That was good.
It
You
is
good,
far better
you.
when you're here. I have to
Yeah.
admit, it is.
Yeah.
What's next?
Makeup and hairstyling. Emma, Hillbilly Elegy, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, and Pinocchio.
Ma Rainey.
I'm picking Ma Rainey.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I've
It was
not
well done.
seen the movie, but I could easily see
Pinocchio.
walking away with
I got to
this.
look this up because I didn't know they made
Well,
a
no,
Pinocchio
I mean,
movie.
It's a
Glenn
live
Close-
action.
Yeah, and it was.
Glenn Close and Hillbilly Elegy though is pretty fantastic
Yes.
too.
It's true.
That is true.
And I mean, and I do like the way they made Amy Adams just look like white
Like-
trash.
like- yeah.
She does.
I
She
mean,
really does.
I would honestly, any of those three I think are pretty good picks. I don't really know much about Emma, and then Mank was again fine, but nothing special. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think just even for it being a period piece back then, that's why it's getting the love it's getting. But no, I don't think it deserves it. Not the Oscar. All right, let's move on to animated feature. film.
we got this in here twice. Uh
That was my bad.
Oh,
I
man.
got to delete that.
Oh,
on
man.
Facebook. Whoops.
oh. Did you do animated short? Maybe you posted feature twice.
Maybe
we don't go over short on the show, but
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, maybe
that's
just,
what it was.
that happened.
But original song, I'm skipping. And the reason why is I don't like any of them.
They are all. I was looking at them, and
I literally
I'm like,
usually
this
can,
is terrible.
can pick one song of an entire year and say, oh, that's a good one.
No,
And usually at least there's two or three that I'm like, oh, they deserve to be nominated. Not a single one on
yeah,
that list.
I'm looking at all these, and I'm like, nah.
Not one of them.
Nah.
I don't like any of them, but I think it will be. I think it'll be Fight for You, Judas and the Black Messiah.
And I'd be okay with that one. If that one
just
won,
that one.
Just that one. I don't like any of them, but I'd be okay with that one.
Hmm.
And that's just because it was the only one I could tolerate.
Mm.
All right, we're doing actor and a leading role.
Whoa!
We're into the big
So,
ones.
Here we go. Riz Ahmed from Sound of Metal.
That's it.
Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Anthony Hopkins, the father. Gary Oldman, Mank, and Stephen
This is a
Yeun,
strong
Minari.
category.
It is actually all of these people I do feel like deserve their noms.
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen Minari yet, but I love Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead, so I'm just gonna say he deserves it whether I've seen it or not.
When does Anthony Hopkins not deserve a nomination?
I mean, when he's in
So-
Thor.
I would say Transformers.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that one too. When he's in a
That's
serious
not
film,
a leading role though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
True. Now, I will say Riz Ahmed for me, even though I think Chadwick Boseman's got
I
this sealed
think
up.
Chaswick, yeah.
Chaswick.
I think I want Sound of Metal, but I think Chadwick Boseman will get it just because.
I think I don't think he's undeserving. I mean, I would say
No.
like after Riz Ahmed, he's definitely second, but I think he'll get it.
Agreed. I think Riz Ahmed had the stronger performance, but I think Chadwick Boseman's nomination is well worth it. And it sucks because
It
it's
does
like
suck.
because it's just one of those years where I feel like
It's like obviously Chadwick
There's
Boseman's
good competition
never going to
here.
have another opportunity to win it.
right.
But does that mean you automatically give it to him if someone else is more deserving? I mean, it does. It sucks.
That's where I'm at. I'm not 100% like, but there's a part of me that feels like, okay, if Chadwick Boseman was alive and he was there, would he get it? That's where
Exactly,
I'm at.
and I don't
yeah.
think you would.
That he's going to get it is because he's no longer with us.
Unfortunately, I think that's true too. And it's weird because it's like a lot of people use that for the excuse for why Heath Ledger got his. The difference was is I
Ledger.
thought he
Yeah.
deserved it.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's not. And again, it's not that Chadwick Boseman doesn't deserve that nom because he absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's just
It
back,
just
back
well,
it's a crap year that it's like, you know,
when he has tough competition. Yeah.
yeah, with Heath Ledger, I don't feel like there was anyone as well deserving as him.
Yes.
In
in
this
that
category,
yeah.
I feel like there's a couple of people that are on equal footing with
Mhm.
him. So that's why
Absolutely.
I'm
All right, let's move on to actress in a leading role.
Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. Frances McDormand for Nomadland. And Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
I actually think Andra Day is going to get it.
Mm.
I have not seen that yet. I need to see it. I want to. Same with Vanessa Kirby in Pieces of a Woman. That's a Netflix movie that we could all watch, and so I want to see that. I truthfully though, I think that my pick right now, I'm going with my gut. I want Frances McDormand to win. I think she deserves it.
That's who I want to win. I really do kind of believe the Academy's going to give it to Carey Mulligan. I don't think she deserves it at all, but I do think they're going to go that route.
Probably.
Wow.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll
Sean, what
find
about you?
out.
Huh?
What about you, Sean? What do you think?
I would like to see Frances McDormand get it, but I just there's something telling me that they're going to go Viola Davis.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the.
And I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it.
I'd be fine with her because
but I don't think
she's
was
good.
She was good. I just don't feel like she was as good in this as she has been. I mean, she's
Again,
not bad.
and again, you have to compare it across the.
Across the people nominated.
yeah.
I mean, against.
Yeah.
Honestly, of the people I've seen, because I haven't seen Vanessa Kirby or Andra Day, but I would definitely agree with Viola Davis over Carey Mulligan. So really, just between her and Frances McDormand at this point.
All right, here we are. The top two categories left.
Oh.
Best director. Should I play the soundbite again?
No, we don't need any more of that.
All right.
So
That was incredibly cheesy, by the way.
best directing
Nothing but the best for my Red Moon peeps.
for another round. Thomas, was that Vinterberg? It's a Danish movie.
Vinterberg.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Sorry, I can't read it either.
Yeah. Another round, Thomas Vinterberg, Mank, David Fincher, what a joke, Minari, Lee Isaac Chung, Nomadland, Chloe Zhao, Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell.
That's the one I
Chloe?
think is a joke. Oh, Chloe Zhao, you saying, Sean?
I think she'll win. Yeah.
I think she will, and I think she deserves to. Amongst
Yep.
all nominated.
I
yeah.
agree. I don't think David Fincher's a joke. I think he deserves it.
I don't know if he deserves for Mank. I don't think he deserves.
I don't think
Best
it's a great
Director.
movie, but at the same time, it's like I understand like the history that it is, and I understand like it's a love and a passion project.
Why not the director of Ma Rainey's or like? There's other Best Picture
I would
nominees
agree.
that
I would, but
just
I
feel
would,
like
I
deserve
would,
it more.
but I would slide them in over.
Definitely over Emerald.
Promising Young
Yeah,
Woman.
he's not as much of a joke as Emerald Fennell. I just didn't really feel, and I haven't seen another round. Either because a lot of people are saying how'd that get nominated and all these other movies didn't, and it's like, well,
Here's the thing. I think Emerald Fennell is kind of like a Juno situation.
Yeah.
Which she
Well,
did.
Juno was actually a good movie, though.
No, I know, but I think it's like it wasn't directed by the woman who wrote it, but the woman who wrote it was like she used to be like a stripper or something.
Cardi B.
Yeah, then she hit exactly. That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I forget her name. She does have one of those. You'd have to look it up. I forget her name, but I remember it was like one of those one-offs where it was the only thing she had ever been nominated for. It was a good movie. It was good writing. That already has a leg up over Promising Young Woman.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just one of those.
Diablo Cody.
Yes, Diablo Cody. And I can't remember what else she's done since. I know she's done some different ones here and there.
She's
But
done a
it's
few
not
things,
been
but none of
anything
them had the success of Juno.
No, absolutely not. And so even though she won for that one-off, it was like,
Oh, she did Jennifer's Body. Wow, that was
Oh,
terrible.
huh?
Burlesque.
What'd you say, Sean?
I just said, yeah, it was terrible.
I mean, it had our beloved Megan Fox in it, right? Or was that Amanda?
No, it was Megan Fox.
It was Megan Fox.
I might have liked it better if it was Amanda Seyfried.
Absolutely. I don't even want to talk about
Oh, here we are.
it. This is it. This is the big one.
The big one. The A-bomb. That was the good version.
That was the good version.
Best Picture nominees: The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Sean, what about
Yeah.
you?
Sound of Metal.
Yep.
But I think Madland will win.
And I'd be okay with that.
I actually don't think Nomadland's going to win. I think it's either going to be Judas and the Black Messiah or Promising Young Woman.
Oh, gosh.
And
Lord.
I want Sound of Metal to win. It is by far the best picture out of all
Yes.
these. Barring, have not seen, we will be reviewing The Father and Minari.
Mhm.
Have not seen them. We will be reviewing those. But I Sound of Metal is my pick, but I don't think
I don't even
it'll
think
win.
Promising Young Woman deserves to be nominated, let alone win.
No.
But I mean, I do get what you're coming from. It does check all those little boxes that the Academy loves.
It no doubt, I think,
yeah.
deserves a replacement,
I think
which is
it's
Ma
kind
Rainey.
of crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that Promising Young Woman and Trial of the Chicago 7 are both nominated, but Ma Rainey was left out.
Yep.
That one does baffle
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And they complain about diversity every year, and it's like, well, then you nominate stupid crap like Trial of the Chicago 7 when you have a movie like Ma Rainey's that is diverse.
Yep.
I mean, I don't get it.
Alrighty, guys. I think that is that. Those are our Oscar picks for the year for 2021.
Well, not all our picks, but the gist and the nominees, and it's going to happen April 25th. I
April
believe? Yeah,
25th?
April 25th. So we still have almost like a whole month away.
yeah,
to
we
go.
got a while. And we've got our review schedules already picked out.
Yeah, we're lined up. We're going to be bringing you Zack Snyder's The Justice League next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sean, yeah, you excited about that?
But
one?
after that, The Father hits VOD, so we're finally going to review it. Be
and
great.
then we've also got,
We got Godzilla vs. Kong comes after that, and then Minari, and then what were we going to do right before the Mortal Kombat release?
I think it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mortal
Oh, wow.
Kombat.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a big release and then an Oscar nom every other week is basically how it's going down.
I mean, we got you covered, guys.
Yeah, it's actually we have some decent releases coming for once, and then April's a dead month, but after that, going into
I'm
May,
telling
it's crazy.
you, we're getting back on track with
Oh,
some
yeah.
good movie releases.
Very first opening in May is supposed to be Black Widow, unless it gets pushed back, and
I
that's
think
seeming
our-
less likely now that more things are opening.
Right.
So
And I think our Stubbs A list may be receiving a resubscribe here soon.
in May, yeah, if everything stays where it's at in May, I will absolutely resubscribe.
All right, Sean, are you wanting to stick around for our convo on multimedia?
No, because I have not seen WandaVision yet.
Well, you've had a busy week, obviously.
It's
and
you've had a lot.
you've had a lot going on, so of course we'll let you bail out for that discussion. But we're looking
Yep.
forward to having you back next week.
Yep, I'll be there. Sorry about tonight, but
No,
it's been fun.
Hey, we love you, buddy.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week, and thank you all for watching.
Oh yeah, thank you for tuning in. Now go cuddle with Lando.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're so glad he could be with us
Yeah, it was nice to
for that portion of the show, so we could
Yeah.
discuss.
It was nice that even though he couldn't be here in person, he could drag his busted legs from falling down the
That's right.
manhole up onto his couch and let us call him.
It's
and
such a
talk,
great
so.
gift to have, you know, the ability to walk after that, you know, just insane.
Those Native Americans, sorry, not Indians.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know what
gotta
to
get,
say
You got to
anymore.
get your PC naming
I'm
right.
so confused on what is correct verbiage anymore. I just don't
well,
know.
you need a little bit of culture,
I do.
and that's what we're gonna
Oh.
not give you on multimedia. That's all right. Let's get into our multimedia segment this week. Let's roll that footage.
Multimedia.
Multimedia.
Multimedia. It's our multimedia.
So the
segment.
last few multimedias, we've been discussing the Stand remake, and we got through that garbage.
Yes.
Um,
Thank God.
And now we're tackling a Disney Plus original from Marvel, who has had a longer hiatus than they meant to, thanks to COVID. Hasn't released anything in over a year. Black Widow is supposed to
Fart.
yeah.
They
Black Widow
farted out a
farted.
bunch.
It was supposed to kickstart, is what I was trying to say, and then somehow kickstart turned it into fart. But it was
They
supposed to kickstart
kick-farted.
phase 4, and I think that's what it was. I was trying to say phase 4 and kickstart, and ended up with fart.
Fart
Um,
4.
Instead, I think actually what phase 4 of Marvel started with actually may have been a better
I
idea.
can't stop.
Oh, you can't. It's hard.
I can't laugh. Well, because I had bad gas tonight. It's
Man,
been I've been lighting
I
up
passed
in the
a few.
studio.
Me too. See, no, we can't
See,
tell.
you
Nobody
normally
knows.
can't do it because Sean's over there by you.
Nobody knows.
But exactly, we're far enough apart across the
That's
table.
why it's so warm in here right now.
Well, I had to turn the air on. It's so bad.
You got the air on and it's still warm.
Man, we're stupid. We're hot
Methane.
boxing ourselves.
You got methane gases all over the place in here. Global warming in your studio.
I'm telling you, it's bad. Greenhouse gases.
So, WandaVision dropped 9 weeks, well, actually 10 weeks ago. It
Yep.
ended a week ago. And
What did we
were
think?
gonna go over it, yeah.
What did we think?
And honestly,
This is actually better than The Stand because we had like a couple episodes where we could only talk about the few that they were releasing. WandaVision was done the same way.
WandaVision released every week.
It did.
It's just that the way our multimedia lined up and the fact that we were covering The Stand, we didn't get to cover this one until the whole thing
After
had
The
aired.
Stand was done.
And
now
honestly,
we've been able to watch all of them.
The Stand airing weekly was like a chore. It was like, oh gosh, I got to watch this next piece of crap. And I'll be fair. There's going to be some people from the get-go who may not catch right off the bat. It is the first 3 episodes are very heavily old sitcom style for the most part. And there's a purpose for that. And you get there, but I can understand people who aren't fond of older sitcoms may not enjoy it right at the very beginning.
Yep.
But halfway through the 3rd episode, I mean, in each episode, they give you little Easter eggs and hints that something's going on, and that really pulled me in from the very first episode, though I understand how some might not be pulled in. But by the 3rd, they really start laying some crap on you, and you're like, oh, gosh,
Yeah.
this is... And then from that moment on, I was really hooked.
one thing I love that Marvel does is, and this portrayed it, I think, one of the best that they've done so far. They started taking risks in the way in which certain formats of their story are told. And they definitely did that with, like you said, the sitcom aspect.
Well, and even doing movies and stories with different flavors. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of
Thor
started that
Ragnarok.
one. Yeah, Ragnarok was a huge one, but even like the first one that kind of went that route was Captain America: Winter Soldier had a little bit more of an espionage feel to it. And they've kind of gotten braver with
And that's
playing
the
with
thing.
genres.
Them dipping their toe in different genres has helped keep the Marvel universe fresh and people, I think, tuned in. If you're a fan. Now, again, it's still, I think, hard to kind of grasp, what WandaVision is and enjoy it if you haven't had some inkling of an idea of following what this Marvel Cinematic Universe
Kevin
has
Feige
been.
says that they try to make things to where, like, even if you've never seen any other Marvel movie, you could still watch it. And for the most part, that's true. But at the same time, I feel like without a lot of the history, you might like WandaVision, but at the same time, a lot of it's just not going to connect the same way. Definitely, especially emotionally.
And I will say, which isn't. I don't know. It's not a bad thing. I don't think it will turn
when you're
off
this
just
far
completely
into
fresh.
the cinematic universe,
Right? And I think that's why I love what they're doing, which is they're still catering to those who followed along with the movies, and they know kind of how to entice you and how to keep you intrigued. But also the other thing that I like too is that with the little Easter eggs they've thrown in from the comics, even. It's really pleasing those who follow the comics, but it's also still pleasing the fans who don't know.
Yeah.
Because I was questioning stuff and I was asking you.
Brandon was
questions.
curious. He would pick up on stuff that he was like, does this mean something? I'd be like, oh, well, in the comics, this, but we don't really know yet. And I
Right.
love that because there's things I recognize from the comics. And I know because there's some fans who were really disappointed because there were so many puzzle pieces. They thought they had it together. And then when it didn't end that way, they were
Yeah.
like, oh, man,
Yeah.
they were really disappointed because they were expecting certain
Right.
characters from the comics to appear based off of storylines, and it didn't happen. And I honestly was okay with that because I was like, I like that. They gave fans stuff from the comics, but at the same time, they still subverted expectations and not in an asshole way like Rian Johnson with Star Wars, but in
Yes.
a way of this still fits the cinematic universe. It fits where the characters come from, but it's still leading into a larger part of the story. Like,
Yeah.
WandaVision does have its own self-contained story.
Well, and that's kind of what.
but it also has a huge build into
It was a good
everything
thing,
else.
but it also infuriated me a little bit. Was at the end of the series because, again, I'm one of those who like it infuriated me in a good way, like any good series does or any good movie does. It leaves you wanting more.
Oh, yeah.
And there were definitely open-ended questions that they left you with, intentionally.
I watched Doctor Strange too.
Exactly, and so and that's kind of the funny thing about it is I was already intrigued because of following all the movies and enjoying my dipping my toe in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I don't follow the comics.
Yeah.
I just follow the story beats of the movies. And I love that they care about both audiences passionately in that way. And that absolutely is the brilliance of Kevin Feige.
I mean, it was good, and I loved it. I do wish they had maybe hinted at a little bit more of the grander scheme than they did. I mean, they obviously hint at it, and it being so early in Phase 4, they don't want to reveal too much. But at the same time, I wanted more. I was like, man, I wish they had given us a little bit more of what's to come rather than how open-ended they kind of leave it.
On a more technical front, I would say that, another thing I love about it being on Disney Plus is the fact that, you're not guaranteed a certain amount of episodes. It doesn't follow a traditional
it's 9 episodes.
13 or 24, episodes per season. It's however many it needs.
The episode lengths all vary.
Exactly. The lengths are all different in the sense that they could be a half hour to 40, 45 minutes.
The very beginning does follow kind of more of a half-hour
sitcom
because
which
it is
I
a
loved.
sitcom. And then you get towards the end and it becomes more cinematic. The last 2 episodes are almost an hour long each, which was impressive.
And that's one thing that I really, really loved about it is as I continuing to love how they're not, because you just told me tonight, which we've got Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Those are going to be longer episodes than WandaVision, but there's
not
only
as many.
6. Yeah, there's only 6
which
episodes.
Is just which is awesome because she's whining. She wants out.
She's upset. But
we're getting long in the tooth, and she knows it. She knows her time's
aspects,
almost up.
absolutely. The technical aspects I like. I mean, it's Disney. They can afford to have a budget. I read somewhere that the budget for the film was about $20 million per episode for the show.
Series,
but about $20 million per episode, which is a lot. Yes, and it shows because it looks almost cinematic. I mean, the visual effects.
Well, and not only the visual effects,
like
the production design.
Oh yeah.
When you look at the sets and them having to go back and do the sitcom set pieces, and they have to basically create.
And most of the sitcom,
yeah.
I love old sitcoms, so most of that was a hit for me. There were a few, but there's about 2 or 3 episodes I thought they didn't nail it quite right.
That's the only thing I was going to give it a miss on. I was going to give it a miss on some of the episodes, especially the 80s episode in particular. The intro was fantastic. They nailed the intro.
Yes.
The feel of the show, in terms of it being like an 80s sitcom, totally missed it. They missed the mark.
I felt like the 70s and 80s
centered too
were
much
their
on
weakest.
the current story as is, and not so much on because even when they started,
but
tying
some people
in,
might prefer that. The ones that don't care for the sitcom aspect might appreciate the fact that they were focusing more.
I
on
didn't
that
because I
modern
thought
story.
the whole shtick was to be is mostly like sitcom until the last few episodes, and that was the thing is they immediately go into like when they get to Malcolm in the Middle.
That was actually
they
well done.
Nailed
the
that.
90s sitcom was well done.
Yeah, and so I thought it was interesting because I'm like, well, so they only had maybe 2 that I thought were a little off.
I think the
kilter.
70s and 80s.
Yeah,
because they start with they go 50s, 60s. No.
It was
50s,
you're right.
60s, 70s. Yeah, because 70s was the 3rd episode.
80s,
90s, 2000s.
Then they start, and then
and
then they go into the actual story, the overarching story,
Yep.
and everything. But I ultimately I'm happy. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I think for their series of first Marvel series,
really has me looking forward to the future. Especially now Doctor Strange 2, just to see how that story plays out. I'm looking forward to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We do know, everything going on so far is all building up towards what seems to be a large multiverse type story.
Yes.
That seems pretty obvious at this point. Doctor Strange 2 is called In the Multiverse of Madness. So,
yeah. Well, I was going to say, and we kind of know that, well, I don't want to give any spoilers away for those who, if you haven't watched WandaVision, come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't spoil
Come on,
nothing.
Sean.
But even Loki is dealing with some multiverse stuff. Him being obviously a more time displaced Loki, because the original timeline Loki obviously, spoiler alert, died in Infinity War. But for those who know the comics, the Time Variance Authority is going to be a part of the Loki show. So they really are building a lot of stuff from the comics. And it does seem where they're going, but I'm looking forward to it.
She's wrapping us up.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. I know she's getting restless.
We always go a little long in the tooth when we're discussing Oscar nominees.
Well,
and
I was going to
wins.
say these episodes always are because we got to go through all the categories. You just wait.
And we're not too bad. It's 15 minutes over. We've been worse than
typically
this,
about this hour and 15.
I think she's getting a little impatient this week. That's all.
She
got in trouble and she doesn't want to make a mess.
She's even
again.
more pissed. And she couldn't roam the house. I usually let her roam the house, but not after what just happened. All right, guys, you can see it right there at the bottom of your screen. All of our social: Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Picks. Yeah, we're all getting tired. And of course, Red Moon Productions.
She's like playing with my butt now. I'm just like, stop it.
You got a good butt.
Probably because of all the gas. She's probably like, what's this
She's
smell?
smelling.
She's like,
Look,
what is
she
this?
already ate. She needs to quit.
I hope she's not wanting to eat anything that comes out of that end. Gosh.
Well, they all do. They're dogs. They
Get
eat
a
their
hot
own.
meal.
Hey, don't see. She's chewing on the cable down there.
Hey.
People think I'm gonna be a bad.
I think we need to wrap up now.
I'm a bad dog father.
Mm.
All right, guys, right there. rmpodcast@redmoonproductions.com. Also, email us if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms. Tell us right there or on our socials. Comment. We'll comment back. We won't cancel you like cancel culture does. We love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in every single week. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, and alongside our normal new host, who was Sean Sebastian. He was here, and he'll be back next week. And
Like everything else this show, I failed you. I don't have one this week.
shame.
I know.
At least that's Keith Cheatham.
It's Keith
We
Cheatham.
hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.